Mary had always been one of those employees who liked to keep her head down. Reliable, punctual, and just a little too quiet, she was the backbone of her department at Hansen & Co., but never the type to seek the spotlight. It was just easier that way, she told herself. No complications, no drama, until the day she stumbled upon something that upended everything she thought she knew about her boss. It started like any other Tuesday. The office smelled faintly of burnt coffee, keyboards clattered in rhythm, and Mary was juggling an endless stream of invoices. Her boss, Mr. Campbell, was his usual aloof self, always polite, meticulously dressed, but somehow distant, guarded. Most of the employees joked that he ran on spreadsheets instead of blood, so cold and clinical he appeared. Mid-morning, Mary received an email marked urgent. Campbell's assistant was out unexpectedly, and he needed someone to arrange his files for a last-minute client meeting. Mary sighed but headed to his office. She'd been hoping for a quick lunch break, but duty called. Inside, the room was immaculate as always, not a paperclip out of place. But as Mary sorted through the neatly labeled folders on his desk, something caught her eye. A single envelope, tucked haphazardly beneath the edge of his keyboard. It wasn't labeled, which was odd for someone as obsessively organized as Campbell. At first, Mary hesitated. It wasn't her place to snoop, and she had no reason to think it was meant for her to see. But as she reached for another folder, the edge of the envelope shifted, revealing a name scrawled in a handwriting she didn't recognize. Her name. Why would her name be on an envelope in her boss's office? Every nerve in Mary's body told her to leave it alone, but curiosity had already sunk its claws into her. Taking a deep breath, she picked it up and slid the contents halfway out, a single sheet of paper, typewritten. Before she could talk herself out of it, her eyes scanned the first line. Subject: Hansen & Co. employees' variant test results. Her heart skipped a beat. What did that even mean? And why was her name specifically mentioned? Her hands trembled slightly as she realized there were multiple columns: employee names, dates, and a category labeled trial outcomes. But none of it made sense. Next to her name was a number, a date, and the word observer. Before she could read further, the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoed in the hall, growing louder. Panic surged. Mary shoved the letter back into the envelope and returned it exactly where it had been, just as Mr. Campbell's hand turned the doorknob. "Mary," he said, stepping inside, his voice calm but tinged with curiosity. "Everything all right in here?" "Yes," Mary stammered, her voice higher than usual. "Just finishing up." His sharp blue eyes lingered on her for a beat too long, and Mary felt pinned under his gaze. Was that suspicion she saw, or something more calculated? The rest of her day passed in a haze. She couldn't focus on work, couldn't stop replaying the brief glance at that strange document. What kind of test? Why her? And why observer? The words gnawed at her. She considered confronting Mr. Campbell directly, but something told her that would be foolish. If the letter was meant for her, why hide it? If it wasn't, then why was her name there? That evening, as Mary sat in her tiny apartment, turning the mystery over in her mind, her phone buzzed. It was an email from Mr. Campbell. "Mary, I need to speak with you in my office at 7 a.m. sharp. Be discreet." She stared at the screen, her stomach flipping. Whatever this secret was, she wasn't sure she wanted to uncover it, but she also knew she couldn't resist. What had begun as an ordinary day was quickly becoming the most important and unnerving moment of her career. Little did Mary know, her life would never be the same after that meeting. The secret Mr. Campbell had been keeping wasn't just about Hansen & Co., it was about Mary herself. She realized that the secret was intertwined with her own life, a revelation that both terrified and intrigued her. The implications were profound. Mary knew she had to prepare for whatever awaited her at the meeting. Despite the fear, Mary was resolute. She would not shy away from the truth. She had to know.